Hey guys, it's Jeff with TGC Customs. I get probably the most asked question I get when it comes to customs are things we sell in the Etsy shop. Accessories and reproduction stuff for your action figures. Number one question probably is, can you print blank? Number two would be, can you print my face or make an action figure look like me? But question number three is always, what do you collect? And I've had a lot of people ask me that on Instagram. They send me a message if we get to talking. That's usually one of the first things that comes up. So I recently whittled my collection down tremendously. I had about 12 of those Rubbermaid totes that people pack stuff in their garage in. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. I had about 12 of those that were completely full. And the 3 cases here I'm fixing to show you. And I have got it down now to the 3 cases aren't even full. And I have I have 2 totes. One of them has the McFarlane Batmobile in it, so there's not much more room in it. But I do have 2 that I have put up. I either don't display or whatever. But anyway, I figured I'd start right here with one of the little custom dioramas I made for my DTOF. These cases are pretty popular in the collecting community, action figure community. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. I've got 3 of them here. This is a little diorama I did for my 90s turtles. Nothing changed about the turtles, just the diorama is all I did on this, just to display them. I like them as they are. I do have Shredder and a few Foot Clan that are packed up, but that's as far as I plan to go with this line. They've gave me pretty much everything I wanted. I'm gonna do a different diorama scene for Shredder and some of the Foot Clan, but hadn't got to that yet. That's on my to-do list. Coming down here is the Silverhawks, and this is what I have. Another thing I will say when it comes to collecting vintage, only buy something when I see it. I very, very, very rarely do I jump on eBay or anything to pick up anything. It's only when I run into it, and it's only when it's a decent deal. To me, that just keeps me from wanting to collect more. It keeps me kind of grounded. So as you can see here, I've got three of the 5 main Silverhawks. I don't intend on getting any of the villains. I just need Quicksilver and Steelheart and the birds, and I'm gonna call this line done as well. So, I'm not into them full, and definitely I'm not full blown into hardly anything nowadays. I'm definitely a cherry picker when it comes to modern stuff. Anyway, we're going down here. Secret Wars. This is what I've got when it comes to the good guys. Added a little cap shield there from I believe it's from a McDonald's toy. I got the idea from the guy on Retro Blasting. I can't think of his name right now, but got the idea from him. And there's the villains that I have for Secret Wars. And like I said, once I get the figures, the main figures and their accessories, I'm gonna call it quits on this line too. No vehicles, no play sets. I don't need any of that stuff. Come on. Next would be the Super Friends. Superpowers, Kenner Superpowers. You can see here the guys that I have. I do have some of the accessories I don't have on. I have Red Tornado's cape. I have Green Arrow's bow and arrow. Some of it I just hadn't put in here just from lack of time. As you can see, I need a Batman that the emblem hadn't rubbed off of, but I will do that from time to time. If it's a figure I have but I need to replace it with a nicer looking one, I will. I was able to grab Cyborg back there. He's like one of the hardest to find. And believe it or not, I gave a guy $10 for that thing at a flea market. I just guess he just didn't know what it was, and he didn't really have a lot of toys. He had books and stuff, and he had that and a couple of Toy Biz Legends. And just not to feel bad, I bought those two. I think it was a Doctor Strange and a Doctor Doom. Anyway, getting off subject. Anyway, same thing with these with Secret Wars. I plan on getting, as we see the bad guys here, I plan on getting the figures and their accessories, and then I'll call it quits with them too. I don't want to go any further with that line either. And my favorite Batman, the 1989 Batman, pretty much done with it. I think I've got a couple of accessories to pick up. Catwoman, I think, is missing a whip, maybe, or maybe I'm thinking of something else. My Batmobile is missing the missile from the front. Got to try to get one of those one day, or either 3D print one. But that line's almost done. Call that one almost done. We'll go back up here to the top. It's my G.I. Joe. When it comes to these guys, the original 13 is the Joes that I remember. I read the comic book. My brother's about 5 years younger than me. He was really into the TV show, the cartoon, the Sunbow cartoon. I watched it, but I was not into it as much as him. My favorite character on there was Shipwreck, and everybody hated Shipwreck. So I don't know. Maybe that says something about me. I don't know. But anyway, so I do have Shipwreck. Zartan is my favorite Joe. Zartan and Shipwreck. I do have Zartan and the Dreadnoks. I just don't have them on display. So that's one of those things where I do have a few other things packed up that I plan on keeping. And here, of course, is Kenner Star Wars. This is probably the most complete thing I have. I'm on the things that you might see missing in here. I have them. They're just not on the figures. Like Yoda doesn't have his belt or Snake, but I have them. Everybody has their weapons. And this is Empire and the original Star Wars. Even got Blue Snaggletooth there from Sears. But I have everything for them. I don't have them all on display. This one little section here you see of this DTOF is kind of packed. I have another one of these stands, and I have probably 98% of the Jedi line too. I'm just missing one or two. I think I'm missing Yak Face and the little purple guy that goes with the Emperor. I can't think of his name right now. He was basically useless as a figure. But anyway, got that. Also up top up here, I've got the Millennium Falcon. But this is another one of the lines. I want the figures. I doubt I'll ever buy any more vehicles. I had the Falcon when I was a kid. I was lucky enough to have that. So that's pretty much all as far as I plan on going with Kenner Star Wars here. Like I say, unless I buy a better one. Boba Fett is my favorite Star Wars character. I've got probably 10 or 15 Boba Fetts, and I can't bring myself to sell them. Every time I run across one, if it's decently priced, I pick it up. This little shelf here is kind of a hodgepodge stuff. I'm not a pop collector, not a fan of pops at all. But my sons and I were at a Comic-Con last year, and my oldest son, who's like 14, he was over there looking, and came running back and said, "Daddy, they didn't have Ric Flair, but they had Dusty Rhodes." And those are probably my favorite two wrestlers. And so he used his money to buy it, so it goes in the case. Along with these things back here, these are gifts that either my sons or my wife got me. I'm a big Disney Robin Hood fan. That movie, I loved that movie as a kid. And when it comes to Mask here, Mask is a line I've always wanted to collect. It's one of those lines that when you find them, they're usually pretty beat up, or either the people want $250 a piece for them, and it's just ridiculous. So I'm getting into the 3D printing the parts of them. On Firefly here, this is actually a 3D printed wing on the back of him that we're offering in the store now, in the Etsy store. Along with the missiles, I can do the door guns on the Thunderhawk, the missiles for the Thunderhawk, and I have scanned a ton of parts. I'm just slowly introducing them to the store, so that'll be coming. Like I say, this is kind of just a Mod Podge shelf here. Go down to the bottom, got the Hasbro Ghostbusters. I think it's the best Ghostbusters that they've done. I know a lot of people aren't huge fans of them, but they're my favorite. But I've got the 4 Ghostbusters. I don't want anybody else. As much as I like Rick Moranis, I don't need him. I don't need Sigourney Weaver. I don't need any of those other ones. I got the 4 guys. That's what I wanted. A cool Ectomobile would be nice, or Ecto 1 would be nice. But until that comes along, I'll stick with these. Blade, one of my favorite characters. You can see my first appearance of Blade comic book back there. But these 2 are customs. Custom heads. This one's actually a custom from scratch. It's pretty much a statue. It's using part of the Snake Plissken body from the old McFarlane's, but it's a custom I did probably 15 years ago, maybe longer, right after the last movie came out, which was not great. But anyway, the Crow there is a model kit that I put together and painted. I'm a big fan of that too. I don't collect a lot of the figures, but I do like the Crow. In my younger days and slimmer days, that used to be my go-to for Halloween was the Crow. But anyway, go back up to the top of this next one is the last one, and these are all Bandai model kit Boba Fett's. I 3D printed the throne here and just did a little simple diorama to show these guys off. When we go to cons, I like to take a few customs. If I don't have a lot there to sell, at least I can show off some of my stuff. So I've got Boba here in a bunch of his different looks. This one I customized before Bandai actually made a model kit of the Book of Boba Fett. But anyway, got a couple more of these to do. I found these kits, believe it or not, at Ollie's for like $12. And I bought a few more. I want to do one. I want to do Boba in his comic book look, and probably his Kenner look, and that'll be it for these guys. And we'll get them displayed a little better, get a little better diorama for them. But like I say, that's on the to-do list. And this is the shelf where I stick stuff. It was basically empty. I stick the stuff that I'm going to paint or work on for me, but I just don't have time. I'll wait till I'm working on a custom for somebody else, and if I'm using some of the same colors, I'll come snatch one of these guys out. Mando here and Mr. Freeze is going to get the, I believe the paint's called Alakide. I don't know how you pronounce it. It's a very, very chrome paint. It's more like an epoxy. You have to paint it and then basically cover the item up for like a month and let it cure. But it gives the best chrome look, I think, anyway, in my opinion. These guys are Bandai model kits, have been put together, but no paint. These are the only McFarlane stuff that I've been buying is from the Batman movies, and then I've been cherry picking those. I want the villains. Like I'd love to get a Two-Face and a Jim Carrey Joker, Tommy Lee Jones Two-Face, because he's one of my favorite actors. Now if they did like a Morgan Freeman, Lucius Fox, he's another one of my favorite actors. I'd definitely grab that, but kind of just want to cherry pick that line. The Batman, the Keaton Batman is okay. I guess for my money, the Mezco Batman is the nicest one that's been done, 89. I've got a custom in the back in the shop back there that I started putting together, but like I say, it's also on the to-do list. So this little cubby hole here is just filled with, if I need to grab something while I'm painting and work on something for me while I'm using the same colors or something, I can just come over here and grab them. Here's my Masters of the Universe, and this is about as far as this line is going to go. These are the guys that I liked as a kid. Once again, my brother was really into this line when we were kids. Like I say, I'm a little bit older than him. I'm a 70s kid who kind of grew up, you know, through this early 70s or late 70s, early 80s, and my brother's he's about 5 years behind me, so this stuff is really in his wheelhouse. But these are the four baddies. I always like the villains more than I do the heroes. Maybe that says something else about me too. I don't know. But anyway, down here I got the quarter scale NECA Batman Returns, Catwoman, Penguin, and I do have Batman. Actually, I've got the first Batman and the Batman Returns Batman. I just wish Nicholson would let him do his so we could get a Joker, and I'd be done with that. Because I'm pretty much done with this line. I got who I want. I didn't want the fancy Penguin. I wanted the grungy looking one. And Catwoman, of course, she's awesome. Got her. But just don't have room for Batman in here. For those of you that have bought anything from the store lately, you probably have heard my shop flooded back right after Christmas, 1st of January. And I was right in the middle of remodeling my kitchen when the flood came, so I had to put the brakes on the kitchen remodel, and I've got a company coming in, actually they're coming in the end of this week to start installing me a drain system and some sump pumps, and they guarantee it for the life of the house. So got to get that done before I can get basically everything in the shop is shoved in the center and covered in plastic. I've had to move the 3D printers and a couple of them, and the shipping supplies and everything. All that's in my kitchen. It was right in the middle of getting remodeled, so fixing to see a mess. But I thought I'd show you one more thing here that I'm working on. It's going to be a diorama, Indiana Jones diorama, Temple of Doom. I know that's everybody's least favorite, but it's my favorite. Once again, maybe that says something about me. I don't know. But anyway, working on Indiana Jones. It's going to have the bottom part of the statue of Kali, the Shankara stones. It's going to have lots of lights where the candles were. You can see some of the candle holders and stuff I've got printed. I painted. I just hadn't put up on yet. But I'll do that. And there's one more thing in here I can show. It's my Captain America's. Captain America and Winter Soldier are my favorite Marvel characters. And so I do have some of these guys in storage. This is not all of what I have. That's a Mezco cap, and that's a Mezco cap, and I think there's a Marvel Select right there, but everything else is a Marvel Legend. What else? Oh, I've got most of the Winter Soldier Marvel Legends offerings too. Just didn't have room to put them out. But anyway, just wanted to kind of show. Like I said, this is one of the questions I get asked a lot, and I figured it was easier just to do a video and show you guys what we collect at TGC Customs, what me and my boys look for when we're out hunting. You know, and naturally they're into WWE, so we're always looking at WWE figures for them. But this is what the old man collects. It's not much. You think somebody that's got a business that you know caters to action figure collectors would be more of a collector himself, but like I said, I've really cut it down the last couple years just to the few things I like, and I take my time hunting them and try to get them at a good deal. I'm not a total cheapskate, but hey, everybody likes to save money, so I will definitely play the long game on vintage stuff. But anyway, one more look at the Joes here, and if you need any parts, I'm always adding to the store. Vintage Joe stuff, Marvel Legends stuff, head sculpts, like I said, mask, the new mask parts. I've got so much of that stuff that I'm going to be adding. Check us out. We're on Etsy, TGC Customs. You guys have a good day. Later.